Okay, hey folks. So this is day 4 in lockdown, day 2 in nationwide lockdown, and currently the scenario is as it was like the previous day. And the statistics currently lie at 660 total cases, amongst which 56 have been closed, 13 people have died, and 43 have recovered. So the amount of recovery has a good hope because not many people are dying. Most of the people who encountered death were from the like 40 plus age group and had some other ailments as well. I hope they rest in peace. And currently, the amount of people being infected is steadily rising. It is not exponentially rising, like it's about 100 per day about right now. So still it's can be contained considering the amount of population India has. And secondarily, another aspect is that in the global the cases are pretty much increasing in a very uncontrolled way. US has been affected greatly. Italy and Spain have been completely overrun by the virus. Also, France even. Yesterday there was a news that Prince Charles from London has already been affected, and the Queen is still safe. And it's like nobody can get past from it. Like it's very, what do you call, infectious to the point that not even power, not any position can save you. Only your own responsibilities and like the way you handle it can literally save your life. And the next thing is that, yeah, people have started misbehaving because I guess more of them are bored. Yesterday there was a case in my village as well as my city. So police had to like take actions against the people who were creating a gathering. Then there was a couple, I don't know if there was a proper couple, but a guy and a boy, a lady and a boy. They were like traveling via a cab which belonged to their neighbor, I guess. And because all the cab services are currently closed here, so they took the cab for a joyride, I guess, and they went from about like 15 kilometers from their home to find medicine. Now, in a city, in a metro city like Calcutta, you don't have to travel about 15 kilometers to get some medicine. You basically have just like 2 or 3 kilometers from your house at most to get some medicines, which are like very much rare to find. And also I don't think there is some other crisis currently regarding food and all because the shops are open. uh, there is no restrictions for, like, yeah, if you have very crowded shops, police would take action against you. But other than that, grocery shops and all are still quite open. They have not restricted it. uh, Also, there's a bit of sad news about China. That is, the number of cases in China has again started to increase. Like it's about increasing about 100 per day in Hubei. I have not seen the other provinces yet, but China has a steady increase again in coronavirus cases, which is pretty sad considering they just ended the lockdown there. If this virus literally relapses, it will be the worst thing that humanity ever faces because uh, once we have come out of the lockdown, going into lockdown mode again is a very like hard thing to do. Currently, there is no proper infrastructure for supporting the lockdown because e-commerce services have stopped. Only Amazon is selling essentials and nothing else. Then other smaller e-commerce sections which used to sell groceries as well as some other household needs have completely shut off. Like their app is like, we will be back shortly, but we all know how that go because currently there is nothing moving around. And freight trains and cargo planes are currently running, so that's a hope to improve, like have some kind of a sustained logistic solution in the country. Hopefully that stays open and that just completely like does not allow us to completely shut off from anything and everything. And also The issue is that 21 days lockdown is a very good thing, but until and unless everybody comes out and just gets checked in this 21 days, it would be a very hard thing to come back once the quarantine ends and people start affecting again. Because, and also I think they should stop like the lockdown in phases. Like the as we got into the lockdown in certain phases, like 2 or 3 stages, I think the unlocking should also happen like that with a span of a week, so that people can like understand how, like the government and authorities and all can understand how the things are. Because once we end it, if the people just come out in a large gathering, if a 2 or 3 people still have the virus, they'll be infecting it to a lot of people who were safe till then. So the entire concept of the quarantine would be just poof in a jiffy, which is a very bad thing that can happen. So obviously I'm saying all these from a logical thinking as perspective. I am by no means some kind of a planner or any kind of a project manager or something, but this is basically what the common sense of mind dictates, and I'm just kind of documenting it so that it stays. But we have to completely have it like in a foolproof manner so that it does not relapse and comes back to bite us. Also, we cannot risk opening the international borders until every each and every case in the overseas and all have completely been under control, and they are also monitoring to see that the people there are safe and they are not affected by that virus silently, as it takes some time to manifest, and maybe people are like hiding those. Because I also came across a point that people who were affected by that virus have a very like scary aspect of it, because they think people on social media and all would kind of distance it. Okay, there is a child crying. If you hear that, please don't mind. So people who are affected, please get help. I don't think social media is something that you should be bothered about right now, because social media can't cure your coronavirus case. All it will do is make you hide your illness and spread it to other people who might die. You may survive if you are a young guy. I guess you are a young guy, because social media persons who like person who cares about social media is obviously some young guy. And if you are worried about social media, you would survive. But if you pass it on to some elderly person, like some say above the age of 50, and that person dies, that's on your head. So you are basically a murderer, because you thought about yourself, you didn't go to the hospital, you thought that social media aspect and people would come like straight up and harass you on social media because you have coronavirus. So that's a very bad thing to do. Please don't do that. Nobody would judge you if you are ill. That is something that you did not choose. This virus cannot be stopped voluntarily until and unless, like if somebody sneezes on your face, you will obviously get that virus. You cannot stop that from happening. So hence, I would request each and every person, if you have symptoms, please stay isolated, get checked as fast as possible. Don't like, what do you call it, bring in the social media aspect and just wait for things to pass. Because if you have elderly parents or anybody in the house, you will spread it to them. Their death, like if they die, that's on your heads. You have to live with that guilt for your entire life. Now that's your choice. One day of social media harassment, or your entirety of like your entire life of guilt that you let somebody die because you did not go get checked in time. That's up to you. So this has been day 4 in quarantine, day 4 in lockdown, how you want to say it. Day 4 in Calcutta and day 2 in nationwide. So the date is 26th of March 2020. Hopefully India fights against it and we can bounce back real well. See you all tomorrow.